गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुस्साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। नमामि गौडपादञ्च शङ्करं श्रीसुरेश्वरं स्वामिनं सच्चिदानन्दमिन्द्रं तं ज्ञानरूपिणे। ओम नारायण नारायण नारायण। Now today is the Sugama. The next point we are discussing what is Vidya and what is Avidya. Vidya Vidya Viveka Bhashyam. Swamiji gave the title Vidya Vidya Viveka Bhashyam. The Bhashya which distinguishes or which explains Vidya and Avidya. Okay. तदेतदाह तमेतम एवं लक्षणम अध्यासम पंडिता अविद्या इति मन्यन्ते. This is the simple statement of Bhashyakara. Straight away he explains, he defines what is avidya. This he states, not defining, he states simply what is avidya. Adhyasa, this adhyasa which we have been discussing in the last 3 chapters. This is the 4th chapter. What we have been discussing as adhyasa, this very adhyasa is called as avidya in Vedanta. This is the simple statement of Shankaracharya. That means what is avidya? Adhyasa or misunderstanding is avidya. Okay. Misunderstanding is avidya. Iti ahuhu, he says, manyante iti ahuhu. Vedantins call this avidya call this adhyasa as avidya. Okay. Tametam evam lakshanam adhyasam pandita avidyeti manyante. On this there is a big discussion. Because post Shankarites, after Shankaracharya, some people have interpreted avidya is something different, and that concept is very, very popular in the entire Hindu society. Therefore, we have to discuss a little bit about it. Now first we take the word meaning of the statement, then go into the discussion. So since it is a commentary, just is giving the word meaning of the statement. Tam naisargikoyam lokavyavaharaha ityantena granthena pratignatam. Etam. This avidya atasmin tadbuddhitvena pradarshita samanya lakshanam. Shanka parihara purassarancha kruta sambhavanam. This adhyasa was stated in generally as atasmin tadbuddhihi, taking it as different from what it is, mistaking something for what it is not. This misunderstanding is avidya, which we have stated before, already discussed. That is avidya. That adhyasa is avidya. Shanka parihara purassaram cha kruta sambhavanam. Again, this adhyasa, there was the Purvapakshi raised an objection. Is there such an adhyasa? Siddhanti has shown it is there in everybody's anubhava. All that we have done already. Now, adhyasam pandita, Vedanta abhiyuktaha. Vedantic scholars, Vedantic experts call this adhyasa alone as avidya. Avidyeti manyante, avidyaya mantare vartamanaha ityadish. Wherever in the Upanishads the word avidya occurs, there avidya means adhyasa, the misunderstanding alone. Saivatra adhyasatvena vyakhyātam asmābhihi natu kvachidapi vedantanaye अस्मात् अध्यासादि विलक्षणा काचिदन्या अविद्या ब्रह्म विद्या विनाश्या अभ्युपगता अस्ति इति भावः. 2 points. 2 points. One is wherever avidya, wherever in the Upanishads the word avidya occurs, there avidya means adhyasa alone. 1 point. Second point is, and by jnanam, jnanam can correct only a misunderstanding. Therefore, the idea is, what is the nature of avidya, what is the nature of ignorance, which jnanam can correct, particularly about the Atma Swarupam. The jnanam which can correct ignorance about the Atman is only a misunderstanding. Brahma vidya vinasya abhyupagata asti. This is the bare meaning of the statement of Bhashyakara. Now he is taking others interpretations. Now this is a very peculiar thing, this statement of Shankaracharya. So now you see a common man, even as a common man who doesn't know much Sanskrit also can understand easily. Now you see, I read out the sentence for you. Tam etam. Tam means that, etam means this, tam etam means that we have discussed so far, the same one. So the literal meaning is, what we have been discussing, the same one. Tam etam means what we have been discussing, the same one. Tam etam adhyasam. Evam lakshanam adhyasam. Adhyasa, who is defined so. The same adhyasa which was defined before as atasmin tadbuddhihi, mistaking it as something different from what it is. Okay, that means a misunderstanding. That adhyasa is called as avidya by scholars. Panditaha avidyeti manyante. Sentence is simple, straight. It is neither technical nor obscure, nor it is a deviated explanation. Straight and simple. This same adhyasa which we have been discussing so far is called avidya. Panditas call it as avidya. Vedantic experts call this as avidya. Now we understand what is avidya is very clear. Now the scholars, the immediate scholars of Shankaracharya, first generation, first 2 generations, let us say, first 2 generations after Shankaracharya. This again is a controversy. Whether Shankara lived in 8th century or before that, we don't know. It is still undecided. Scholars have been struggling. In fact, there are no serious research on Shankara's date of birth anyway. Whatever the Britishers have distorted, we are continuing. So we don't know whichever period. When I told that immediate first 2 generations of Shankaracharya, I only mean this much, that the first 2 commentaries on Shankaracharya, I mean in this sense, because the period we don't know, because it is all a uncertain period. There is a controversial time of Shankaracharya. So the immediate very popular Sanskrit commentaries on Shankara Bhashyam, one is the Panchapadika, another is Bhamati. So I mean the first commentaries. These first 2 commentaries interpret the same so simple looking, simple open statement of Shankaracharya differently. They interpret. Why do they have to interpret differently? Because they have a different concept of avidya. See, what is ignorance? Do we need to elaborately discuss about ignorance? Is ignorance such a big controversial topic? Something like, for example, I say, what is darkness? Regarding darkness, do we need to discuss it so much? Don't we simply, darkness is darkness. Darkness is there when there is no light. When light is there, there is no darkness. It is so simple. Yet, darkness has been made into a very controversial topic. Simple darkness, which is so visible, which is a matter of experience. And the philosophers made it into a big controversial topic. Similarly, ignorance is a simple thing. Let us see. I think we have seen before, but now also I see just briefly in two, 3 sentences. One is absence of knowledge. You don't know something, a simple absence of knowledge. Second is a doubt. When you have a doubt, you don't know the reality of a thing. That means your understanding about it is doubtful. Doubtful means not clear, vague and doubtful. That is also ignorance. First ignorance is not knowing it. You only heard about it, but you just don't know what about it. You have got only a general idea that there is such a thing, that's all. You only have a general idea about something. For example, Russian language or Italian language. You only heard that there is such a thing called Italian language, but we don't know a single word of Italian or Russian language. So if I ask you, do you know Italian? Oh, you say, I don't know. Or do you say Russian? You say, no, I don't know. Or Spanish, you don't know. So that means, but Spanish is a language, this much you know. Okay. When I ask you, do you know Spanish language? You say, no, I don't know. So this means simply not knowing. You only just heard about it, but you have no idea of what it is, how it is. So this simple absence of knowledge is called ignorance. One form of ignorance, one aspect of ignorance. Second is when you have a doubt, uncertain, ambiguous. Uncertain, ambiguous knowledge is also, knowledge is called doubt. Uncertain, ambiguous, maybe, may not be, or probably like this. Like this, you have got a doubtful understanding about something. That is also, a doubt is also another nature of ignorance. Ignorance has another form, is called doubt, which is doubt. Because when you have a doubt, you have no clear understanding about a thing. That means doubt is an ignorance. Doubt is not a half knowledge. Don't say doubt is a half knowledge. Doubt is ignorance. Because when you have a doubt, you don't know what it is clearly. Then the third form of ignorance is misunderstanding. You think about it something different from what it is. So one is simply not knowing. Second is doubt. Third, doubtful knowledge. Third is total misunderstanding. These are the 3 forms of ignorance. Okay. So in worldly objects, ignorance can be in these 3 forms. But when it comes to Atma, Adhyasa is the first. Because during presupposing Adhyasa alone, you can think of ignorance of Atma, that is absence of knowledge, or even doubt about Atma, not knowing the Atma, that is an absence of knowledge of Atma, non-apprehension, non-understanding, doubt and misunderstanding. So non-understanding presupposes misunderstanding. So Adhyasa is the main form of avidya, and what knowledge does is corrects the misunderstanding. So this is the stand, and this is a Shankara statement, very clear. Okay, now these post-Shankarites, the immediate first 2 generations of after Shankaracharya, they explained avidya differently. How? Let us see. Adhyase avidya shabda pravrutti nimittam tatra ekiya matopanyāsaha. Now we state somebody's explanation of this Shankara statement. Now you see Shankara statement, I repeat it, this, the same thing which we have been discussing. This the same Adhyasa, whose nature we have defined, the same Adhyasa, the same misunderstanding, whose nature we have defined so far, is called avidya by Vedantins. This is simple statement of Shankara. See how they twist this statement. Simple statement which is not at all obscure and very clear and very open, unambiguous and clear statement, how they interpret. Let us see. So the interpretation is not simply grammatical, it implies a certain concept, a concept which is different from a general understanding of Adhyasa. They have got their own speculated concept, a hypothesis. They imagined Avidya as a hypothesis, a material substance. Now they are trying to interpret Shankara's statement in support of their own cherished concept of avidya. Their own petty concept of, petty means their own cherished concept of avidya. Now let us see how they interpret. Kasmat punaretam adhyasam avidya iti manyante panditaha. First they accept Shankara's open statement. What is the open statement? Adhyasa is called avidya. That's all. This adhyasa, the same adhyasa is called avidya. They take this statement and they twist it and they say this is not adhyasam avidya iti manyante. Why do scholars call adhyasa as avidya? You know, they say why this adhyasa is called avidya. Their explanation is, the post-Shankarite explanation is, in fact adhyasa is not avidya. The starting point like this. Adhyasa is not avidya, it is only effect of avidya. Adhyasa is not avidya, it is an effect of avidya. It is a product of avidya, product of ignorance. It is not directly ignorance. It is, since it is a product of ignorance, the Vedantins call it as ignorance. That means Vedantins call ignorance, avidya, adhyasa as ignorance. According to them, adhyasa is in fact a product of ignorance. Yet they say, then why Shankaracharya is openly telling that this adhyasa, the same adhyasa is called ignorance by Vedantins? Vedantins call this same superimposition, misunderstanding as ignorance. That means in Shankara's view, misunderstanding is ignorance. Now they are trying to interpret it differently. No, Shankara means something different, their interpretation. It is in fact not ignorance, it is a product of ignorance. Superimposition or misunderstanding is a product of ignorance. Therefore, this product is called in a secondary sense. It is not the primary ignorance. Primary ignorance is something else. Now, misunderstanding being a product of that primary ignorance, this adhyasa is also called ignorance because it is a product. As a product of ignorance, this is also called ignorance. So, Shankaracharya is referring to that. See how they go away from the main statement. Shankara himself should have told that this adhyasa is a product of ignorance. No, Shankaracharya is not telling adhyasa is a product of ignorance. He is telling adhyasa is ignorance. Misunderstanding is ignorance directly. But they say no. Shankaracharya, though he is calling it adhyasa, Vedantins call superimposition as ignorance. Vedantins call adhyasa is ignorance. Though Shankaracharya said it, Shankaracharya doesn't mean it, he means something else. Now that openly they set aside his statement and reinterpret it differently. It is in fact, adhyasa is a product of ignorance according to them. Then Shankaracharya is calling product of ignorance as an ignorance. That means Shankara means it in a secondary sense, not in primary sense. So Shankara's own statement they interpret differently. This is the point we have to discuss here. Then what is avidya? If this adhyasa is a product of ignorance, then what is primary ignorance, main ignorance, original ignorance? You know, kapuna rasau avidya iti yamevaya chinmatrashraya vishaya jadatmika avidya shaktihi. They say avidya is something different from adhyasa. Adhyasa is a product of it. Oh, adhyasa is product, but Shankaracharya did not say that. Oh, Shankaracharya said it like that adhyasa is avidya, but he doesn't mean it. See, Shankara's statement, they say Shankaracharya doesn't mean it. He means it is an effect of ignorance, and ignorance is something different. Where is it? They are interpreting it. Okay. What is real ignorance, original ignorance according to them, according to you? You means we are asking them. According to you, what is original ignorance? He says, there is a material substance. There is a material substance sticking to consciousness. And that material substance produces misunderstanding. Therefore, that is a original ignorance. Mula Vidya means original ignorance. Primary ignorance. Okay? The primary ignorance or original ignorance, not the product ignorance or the effect ignorance. Causal ignorance, we can call it, their interpretation. Primary ignorance, original ignorance, or causal ignorance. They call it. They say adhyasa is a product and there is a cause for it. Iyamevaya chinmatra ashraya vishaya. This ignorance depends upon consciousness. It is sticking to the Chaitanya Atma and it is a Jadatmika. It is unconscious. It is, what you say, inanimate, insentient, inanimate. Avidya Shakti. It is a, what you say, Avidya Shakti means, how to say that? Avidya Shakti, ignorance as a power. They say the ignorance is a kind of a power. A material substance having some power. That is a causal ignorance. Where is it? But Bhashyakara did not say. If that were the ignorance, then Shankaracharya should have stated. He did not say. And thus that material inanimate ignorance sticking to the consciousness, it transforms itself into adhyasa. It is the cause of adhyasa, it produces adhyasa, or it transforms itself into adhyasa. So there is a material substance which transforms. So this is the kind of explanation they give. Poshankara writes, Sahi jadavastu rupena upavarnita adhyasa rupena cha parinamate. And that avidya transforms into object ignorance and misunderstanding ignorance. So the product of the adhyasa is of two types, they say. One is a object adhyasa, another is misunderstanding adhyasa. Adhyasa as an error, adhyasa as a wrong object, adhyasa as a wrong knowledge. Okay. Adhyasa as an erroneous object, adhyasa as an erroneous knowledge. Adhyasa as a wrong object, adhyasa is a wrong knowledge. We have discussed there is no such thing called wrong object. There is only wrong knowledge, there is no wrong object. Nobody has experienced it, nobody can show it, nobody can see it. There is a misunderstanding. But here they say, no, adhyasa is of two types. One is a erroneous object and erroneous knowledge. And these two, erroneous object and erroneous knowledge, is a product. These two are the products of avidya. And the real avidya, the causal avidya, is something different. It is a material and it is sticking to the consciousness and it transforms into object adhyasa and knowledge adhyasa. Adhyasa means misunderstanding. Object adhyasa and knowledge adhyasa. It transforms, modifies. That means they are telling adhyasa is a product. Adhyasa is produced by something and that something is real ignorant. Where is it? You have to assume it. It is a hypothesis. Atayeva hisa karana vidya mula vidya. It is a causal ignorance. It is a primary ignorance. Karana vidya, mula vidya. In Sanskrit we call it karana vidya. Karana is cause. Karana vidya, causal ignorance. Mula vidya. Mula means the original. Mula means original or primary ignorance. Original ignorance, which modifies into adhyasa. Mula vidya ityadibhihi namabhirupacharyate. So this avidya is called by these various names like Mula Vidya, Karana Vidya. Now the question comes, if that is avidya, what you state, the causal avidya, causal ignorance is the real ignorance, the primary ignorance is the real ignorance, then why did Shankaracharya not refer to that? Shankara is openly telling Adhyasa is avidya. But you tell no, Shankaracharya doesn't mean it. He means there is a cause to the Adhyasa, and that is avidya. Adhyasa is only a product of it. Two things you are implying. One is there is a causal avidya and Adhyasa is its product. These two statements which you are putting there don't exist in Shankara's words. It doesn't exist. In fact, Shankara's words are totally contradicting your, or you are explaining something which is outside Bhashya. Not only here, in anywhere else also, nowhere Shankaracharya uses such an expression. But they start accepting it, this as causal ignorance which produces Adhyasa. Now this our Vedanti, Sachidananda Swamiji is asking, hey, you are telling there is a causal ignorance? But why did Shankaracharya not say that? Shankaracharya do not seem to refer. He never referred because Adhyasa is the main topic here. But in Adhyasa he must say what is the real nature of avidya. But he is telling openly this Adhyasa is avidya. Open statement. Tametam adhya evam lakshanam adhyasam avidya iti manyante. Panditaha manyante. Scholars call this same Adhyasa which we have defined. This same Adhyasa Vedantic scholars call as avidya. So categorical he is, so unambiguous, very clear cut. Yet post-Shankar writes, such a clear-cut statement they interpret differently. That means they are imposing their own idea rather than accepting Shankara's idea. Okay? Therefore, Sachidananda Swamiji asked, Atha Bhashyakarena kimiti tam tyakta, then why Bhashyakara left out that avidya which you are defining, which you are explaining the causal avidya? Why Shankaracharya left out that causal ignorance and talking Adhyasa is an ignorance? Karya vidya abhidhaniyako Adhyasaha eva varnitaha. Then why Bhashyakara describing Adhyasa elaborately discussed so far and now is openly stating this same Adhyasa is called avidya by Vedantins? Oh, so clearly, so categorical. Then why does he say differently? If you say there is a causal avidya, causal ignorance is real ignorance, then why Shankaracharya not refer to it at all? This is the question. Let them give answer. Let the post-Shankarites give answer. You know what they give? Mula vidyayaha sushuptau sushuptadau anarthakaritva adarshanat karya vidya rupena parinataiva sa anarthakariniti jnapanarthamiti brumaha. See, they give a peculiar interpretation. They say, in deep sleep there is a causal avidya. They say, in waking state and dream state there is a product ignorance, that is Adhyasa. Adhyasa they call it is a product, and the material avidya, that is a causal ignorance, material ignorance modifies into Adhyasa. And Adhyasa is present in waking and dream. They say Adhyasa is present in waking and dream. In deep sleep there is no Adhyasa, but there is causal Adhyasa remains. Okay. Sushuptadau anarthakaritva adarshana. This Mula Vidya or causal avidya exists in deep sleep. See their point. In Sushupti there is avidya. See how they explain. In Sushupti there is an ignorance, causal avidya. Though causal avidya is present in deep sleep, it doesn't harm you, it doesn't produce any samsara. Because there is no samsara in deep sleep. Though there is Mula Vidya or causal ignorance is present there. In spite of the causal ignorance being present in deep sleep, It doesn't produce any pain, pleasure, sorrow, frustration, any evil, fear and death, fear of death and all. It doesn't produce any samsara. Therefore, anarthakaritva adarshanath. In deep sleep, there is causal ignorance but doesn't produce any problem. Therefore, karya vidya rupena parinataiva. When it modifies into adhyasa in waking and dream state, then only it is causing evil. It is causing some harm to the jiva. Jnapanartham. So Shankaracharya did not talk of the causal ignorance, talked of only adhyasa is ignorance, because, see their explanation. Because this explanation is not true, but that's how they explain. They say, Karana Vidya, the causal ignorance, although present in deep sleep, it doesn't harm you, doesn't cause any problem, frustration, anything. Only in its product state, as an adhyasa alone, you find samsara. Only to convey this idea, Shankaracharya is interpreting differently. They are telling Shankara's alone is wrong, and Shankara himself is telling partially. Shankara does not talk of causal ignorance and doesn't say adhyasa is a product. He simply says adhyasa is avidya, straight away. Misunderstanding is avidya, straight away. They say, no, Shankaracharya wants to convey, therefore he put it so twisted way. Shankaracharya himself talked in a twisted way. Asyanartha heto prahanaya ityadi ato adhyaso avidya iti karya vidyatva. Therefore, Shankaracharya calling adhyasa is avidya is not really true. Yet Shankara is talking in a secondary sense. It is a product of ignorance. So Shankara is talking of ignorance in a secondary way. See, they made Shankara as a secondary, and their imaginary avidya, their imaginary causal ignorance, they are putting as a main ignorance, and adhyasa is a secondary ignorance, as a product ignorance. Okay, product of ignorance. So this is the interpretation of post-Shankarites. You can see Panchapadika, Vivarana, Bhamati, they all talk of this alone. Staunchly they defend this. Okay, now their interpretation is over. Now Swamiji comes to, he says, he rejects this interpretation as wrong. Why it is wrong? Swamiji himself explains, let us see. Ukta mata nirakaranam, refuting this view of Purvapakshi. Tada sat, your explanation is wrong. Straight away, he says, your explanation is wrong. Karana vidyaya aprakrutatvat, because Karana vidya, the causal ignorance, is just out of context. Causal ignorance is not what you say, is not the topic at all. We never touched it, we never discussed it. So far, when Shankaracharya discussed adhyasa in the earlier three chapters, there is no reference at all. It is totally irrelevant, out of context. You are bringing something, a new idea which never existed anywhere, isn't it? My throat pill. So, Karana vidyaya aprakrutatvat. Prakruta, present context, current topic. Aprakruta, it is not current. Or prakruta means the topic which under discussion. Karana, causal ignorance is not under discussion. We have never touched it, never discussed it. Shankaracharya never stated it. We are just bringing suddenly something out of context which we have never discussed, something you brought it here. Okay. That means Karana Vidya is not, causal ignorance is not, we are discussing, that is never referred. Tasyaha parinamasya cha pratyakhyatvat. And in earlier discussions, in earlier pages, in the previous pages, Swamiji says, in the previous pages we have refuted that adhyasa is a product. Because adhyasa naisargikaha, Shankaracharya told. It is instinctive, it is natural. Time and place also is within adhyasa. Adhyasa is not a product which is produced in time and place. So, adhyasa is never a product. It is not produced. It is instinctively there in everybody. By presupposing adhyasa alone, you find the time, space, world, individuality, jiva, everything. So 2 points. One is adhyasa is naisargika. Naisargika, Shankaracharya told very clearly, naisargika. Another thing is desha, kala, world, everything is within adhyasa. Everything is within misunderstanding alone. Like a dream. You say in the dream world, dream object, dream time and place, the dream state, everything is within the misunderstanding. Dream as a misunderstanding, isn't it? All that is within a misunderstanding. Therefore, adhyasa is not a product. First is, it is instinctive and natural. And second thing is, it has no cause. Because cause and another point we said, cause and effect relationship is within adhyasa. Cause and effect relationship itself is within adhyasa. You can't imagine the cause of adhyasa. Because to think of the cause of adhyasa, you have to go to outside adhyasa. If you go outside adhyasa, there is no adhyasa. When there is no adhyasa, then nothing can be thought of. Every thinking, every thought presupposes adhyasa. Because adhyasam puraskritya sarve pramana prameya vyavaharaha. This statement Shankara is going to say after few pages. This Shankara's own statement is going to say after few pages. So adhyasa is not a product. Because cause and effect itself are within adhyasa. And Shankaracharya didn't stay. Therefore, tasyaha parinamasya cha pratyakhyātatvat. First thing is, there is no causal ignorance and there is no product. Adhyasa is not a product and there is no causal ignorance. These two we have refuted already. Yattu chate. Now, Swamiji is quoting, citing the Purvapakshi's argument and refuting it. Now he is citing the Purvapakshi's argument. What is it? Adhyasa rupa vidyaya anarthakaritvam. No, adhyasa is a cause of evil. Evil means some harm. Anartha, undesirable. Adhyasa, the form of adhyasa, the nature of adhyasa is harmful because it produces pain and pleasure. It produces what you call life and death, that is a birth and death. The janma, marana, sukha, dukkha, mana, apamana, all these painful experiences of life, undesirable experiences of life are produced are due to adhyasa alone. All this samsara dukkham is due to adhyasa. This is what Purvapakshi told. Siddhanti says we admit it, we accept it. Adhyasa, all sukha dukkha's are adhyasta. All pain, pleasure, suffering, everything is due to adhyasa. Therefore, if you say adhyasa is responsible for all this suffering of jiva, jiva's suffering, all suffering, we accept it. But bhashyakarena tatha vakshav, we accept it because Bhashyakara is openly telling adhyasa is anarthakari. Adhyasa is the cause of anartha, is responsible for all our sufferings. But yat punaha karana vidya sushuptau satyapina na anarthakariniti ityato bhashyakarena atra varnita iti. But as for what you told, in deep sleep there is a causal avidya, and as a causal avidya it is not found to bring about any harm, any pain, any suffering to jiva, any samsara. The causal karana vidya, the causal ignorance which is present in deep sleep, does not produce any suffering to you, nanarthakarini iti bhashyakarena natra varnita iti. Therefore, it doesn't produce any suffering in deep sleep. Therefore, Bhashyakara did not touch it. See, Bhashyakara did not refer to it. Bhashyakara did not describe causal ignorance which you are touching. Shankaracharya did not say. He has got a reason for it. Shankaracharya did not say because the causal ignorance which is present in deep sleep doesn't cause any samsara, doesn't cause any anartha. Only in its product form, in waking and dream, it produces samsara. Therefore, Shankaracharya did not talk. See, it is you are imagining your own reason, but Shankara doesn't touch at all. There is no karana vidya, there is only adhyasa. Tanna kshamyate. Swamiji's replies, no, we won't accept it. We don't accept it from you. That Shankaracharya did not say because in Sushupti it doesn't produce any samsara, whereas Adhyasa produces samsara. The causal ignorance doesn't produce samsara, therefore in deep sleep. Therefore, without referring to it, directly he touched Adhyasa alone. Why should he not refer if that is a real Adhyasa? So it can't be accepted. Etadrishyah karana vidyayah kutrapi bhashya svikara abhavat. Second reason is not only that Bhashyakara, Shankaracharya did not refer to such an avidya, your avidya, mula vidya, causal ignorance here in Adhyasa Bhashya, anywhere in Prasthanatrayi Bhashya, Bhashyakara doesn't refer to karana vidya, nowhere. Kutrapi Prasthanatrayi Bhashye, there is no causal ignorance referred ever by Shankaracharya. Now, Purvapakshi says, no, Shankaracharya referred. Now he is telling, Shankaracharya referred the causal ignorance or Mula Vidya, it is there. Show me where it is. Yes, I shall. The Purvapakshi, Siddhanti is asking, show me where it is. Purvapakshi says, here I am showing you. Listen, I am showing you there is a statement in the Prasthanatrayi Bhashya which goes to prove the presence of causal ignorance. Nanu prajna karana baddhastu iti karikanam se gaudapadai karana vidya nirdishta. Now, I am looking for this is a question. Okay, answer is here. Yeah. Akshepaha. Otherwise, the whole thing is getting mixed up. The traditional books, they publish like that. Just they go on in a flow. We have to mark it, then it becomes easy to understand. Okay. Now, Purvapakshi says, it is there in Gaudapada Karika and Bhashya. He says, in Mandukya Karika, the causal ignorance is referred in Mandukya Karika, and in the Shankara Bhashya, upon that Mandukya Karika, Gaudapada Karika, Shankaracharya has accepted causal ignorance. This is what Purvapakshi says. Now Purvapakshi continues, Prajna Karana Baddhastu. Sushupti is a Prajna, Jagrat is Vaishwanara, Swapna is Taijasa, and Sushupti to Prajna. And regarding the Prajna, Gaudapadacharya says Prajna Karana Baddhastu. Prajna is associated with a cause. Prajna means Sushupti. Sushupti is bound by a cause. That means it is in association with a cause. Prajna Karana Baddhastu, okay. The Karana word, Purvapakshi is taking as Mula Vidya. Karana word is there, but that doesn't mean Mula Vidya. But Purvapakshi says it refers to Mula Vidya. To defend his his explanation, he is quoting Shankara Bhashya on that statement of Gaudapadacharya. Let us see. Tattva agrahana anyata agrahanabhyam bija palabhavabhyam tau yathoktau vishwatejasau baddau sangrahitau. Now the waker and dreamer, the collective waker, not individual waker, the total waker of the waking state, the total dream state, total dreamer. So the total waker and dreamer, tattva agrahana anyatha grahanabhyam bijapala bhavabhyam tau yathoktau vishwatejasau baddhau. Those who have not studied Mandukya need little explanation. Just within 1 minute, I'll give you 1 or 2 minutes. Waking and dream. There Shankaracharya says, Gaudapadacharya and Shankaracharya say that Tattva Agrahana. Agrahana means what? Non-apprehension. Agrahana, absence of understanding, absence of knowledge. Anyatha Grahana. Anyatha Grahana means misunderstanding. Non-understanding and misunderstanding. Agrahana, Anyatha Grahana. Agrahana is not knowing. Anyatha Grahana is knowing differently, wrongly. So, in the waking and dream state, there is both non-understanding of Brahman and misunderstanding of Brahman in waking and dream. So he says that non-understanding and misunderstanding. Non-understanding is a bija. Bija means cause, and misunderstanding is an effect. Who says that? Purvapakshi. Remember that. Bija pala bhavabhyam tau yathoktau vishwatejasau baddhau. So waking and dream are taken to be associated with cause and effect. What is that? Agrahana and anyatha agrahana, not knowing and wrongly knowing. Okay. Prajnastu bija bhavenaiva baddha. Whereas the prajna, that is sushupti, is associated with the cause of the waking and dream. Deep sleep, Gaudapadacharya says, and Shankaracharya also says that sushupti, there is only a causal state, and waking is a effect state. Prajnastu bija bhavenaiva baddha. The prajna athava sushupti is bound by seed of the adhyasa iti. Tat kathamuchyate karana vidyayah kutrapi bhashya svikara bhavahai. Now I have shown you, Purvapakshi says, Purvapakshi concludes that now you see I have shown you Mula Vidya has been discussed in Gaudapada Karika, and Shankaracharya also explained. What is that? In Sushupti is a Karanam for waking. This much he told. Now that Karanam means Mula Vidya. Purvapakshi is taking. Therefore, Shankaracharya and Gaudapadacharya refer to Mula Vidya. But what did you say? What did you say, Sachidanandendra Swamiji follower? Purvapakshi is objecting. You told that in Prasthanatrayi Bhashya, nowhere Shankaracharya talks of causal ignorance. You told there is nowhere there is a causal ignorance in Prasthanatrayi Bhashya. Purvapakshi says, yes, we found it. Causal ignorance is found in the Mandukya only. You say it is not there. I'll show you. In the Mandukya Upanishad Karika and Shankara Bhashya, there is a causal ignorance. Okay. This is Purvapakshi's view. Siddhanti replies, Naisha doshaha. Your accusation doesn't stick to our stand. Your accusation is wrong. What is that? Agrahanamiti bhashyoktasya tadabhyuhit adhyasopadanartakatve manabhavat. It is true. Gaudapada told non-understanding and misunderstanding. Simply agrahanam anyatha agrahanam. That we accepted. But your interpretation, you are stretching it beyond. You are stretching it too much. What are you doing? Now Siddhanti is replying to Purvapakshi. Okay. What is the mistake Siddhanti is pointing out? The mistake in the Purvapakshi, Siddhanti is pointing out. What is that? See, Agrahanam no doubt is there in Mandukya Karika. Bhashyakara also accept. But see the meaning of agrahanam. Grahanam is knowledge. Agrahanam, non-knowledge, no knowledge. No knowledge simply, non-understanding. Okay. Agrahanam means non-understanding. That's all he means. Gaudapada and Shankara Bhashya on that simply means agrahanam is non-understanding. But you are taking it too much in your sense. You are adding lot into it. You are taking it as a material cause sticking to Brahman and it modifies into Adhyasa. This is not that. Neither Gaudapadacharya told nor Shankaracharya told. You are taking a seeming statement of Gaudapada and Shankara, interpreting your own way and trying to defend your Mula Vidya, causal ignorance in deep sleep. Okay. Tadabhyuhita adhyasa upadanartakatve. If you take, there is no proof, there is no pramana in the Bhashya or any other pramana to say that there is a causal ignorance which produces adhyasa. There is no proof, there is no evidence, there is no pramana. It is your own speculation, unwarranted speculation. Okay? Iti agrahana shabdasya grahana bhave prayuktatvat. The word agrahana means only non-understanding. That's all. That's all. Nothing more. But you are stretching it too much and interpreting as a material cause. That is a material cause sticking to Brahman and produces adhyas. All this is your speculation. It doesn't exist in Bhashya. Anyatha grunnata swapno nidra tattvamajanatah viparyase tayokshine turiyam padamashnute. Here you see beautiful explanation. See, this is the point Swamiji follows. When somebody, Purvapakshi argues, or Purvapakshi means somebody. When somebody argues on the strength of a quotation, strength of a Bhashya quotation, you have to produce an alternative, more powerful Bhashya quotation which clinches the issue by refuting the other's argument. If you give an argument, I have to give the argument in reply. I have to refute that argument by another argument. That means if you give one logic, I should show the another logic to refute your logic. If you give one quotation, I should give another quotation which is more powerful and dismissing your quotation, which is capable of dismissing your quotation. If you refer to Anubhava, I should refer to larger Anubhava. If you refer to one experience, Anubhava, I should refer to larger Anubhava which dismisses your Anubhava. So this is the way of discussion. How to discuss? To refute the quotation, you require a more powerful quotation. To refuse the logic, you require a more powerful logic to refute his logic. If he refers to Anubhava, you require a universal Anubhava to refer your personal Anubhava. So these are the three ways of discussing. Purvapakshi told, Prajnaha Karana Baddhastu. Prajna, which is Sushupti, is bound by Karana, is associated with Karana, he told. What is the nature of Karana, he did not say. Simply word Karana is used. Seeing the word Karana, Purvapakshi is jumping and imagining his own Mula Vidya. Okay, but anyway, Prajnaha Karana Baddhastu, you stated it. Now he says, Siddhanti says, I am producing another Bhashya Vakya, another Karika, which refutes your argument. See now. Anyatha grunnata swapno nidra tattvamajanataha. Swapna, waking and dream, is due to misunderstanding. And deep sleep is due to non-understanding of Brahman. Having stated non-understanding and misunderstanding, waking and dream are misunderstanding of Brahman, and deep sleep is only a non-understanding of Brahman. Having stated this, in the same shloka, Gaudapadacharya goes to say, Viparyaseta yokshine turiyam padamashnute. These two, agrahana, anyatha grahana, non-understanding and misunderstanding, these two are adhyasa only, viparyasa. These two are misunderstandings. These two are only adhyasas. See how to refute the quotation. Swamiji is bringing another quotation. If you bring the Shankara's quotation, we bring you more powerful another quotation of Shankara, which dismisses your idea. Therefore, Swamiji is quoting Gaudapadacharya's Karika, and he says Viparyasa. Agrahanam, Anyata Grahanam, he calls it as Adhyasa. Okay, Gaudapadacharya calls it is Adhyasa. Viparyaso tayokshine turiyam padamashnate. Iti cha ajnanasya viparyasa matratvena varnanacha. Ajnana is a misunderstanding alone. Is very clear. Now Bhashya on that Gaudapada's Karika, Bhashya also says what we say, what Sachidananda Swamiji says. Tattva pratibodha matrameva hi bijam prajnatve nimittam. So the prajna in Sushupti has got only tattva pratibodha, non-understanding of the truth, that's all. That is the bija for waking up. See, the bija, the cause for waking up, the cause which is present in deep sleep, and it is responsible for the waking state, that cause is apratibodha matram, simply non-understanding, simply absence of knowledge. Gaudapada is not referring to your concept of avidya, which is a material substance and modifies into adhyasa. No material substance, no modification, because in Sushupti, the avidya that is referred to in Sushupti is only absence of knowledge. It is not a positive substance as you say. Siddhanta is talking to Purvapakshi. Okay? Ajnanasya viparyasa tattva pratibodha matrameva hi bijam prajnatve nimittam iti karana bandasya apratibodhasya nimitta matratvena avarnana upavarnanat adhyasa upadana vidyayah naivatra avakashaha iti sputatvat. So here Gaudapadacharya and Shankaracharya are referring to the absence of knowledge, that's all. You are stretching it too much, so there is no ground for stretching and imagining Mula Vidya. Karana bandasya apratibodhasya. Apratibodha is a simple absence of knowledge. Adhyasa upad, but you are talking adhyasa has a material cause, and that material cause transforms into adhyasa. This material cause nowhere there. Therefore, naivatra avakashaha iti sputatvat, it is very clear. Tasmat samyag evoktam karana vidya bhashye kvachidapi nasvikrita. Therefore, Siddhanti says, we have stated, what we have stated is very clear. In Prasthanatrayi Bhashya, there is nowhere Mula Vidya. Yukti viruddhaschayam. Okay. Now, by quoting the Bhashya, he says no Mula Vidya is present. Now, second, he says logic also will give you. See, Yukti viruddhaschayam sushuptau karana vidya angikaravadaha. Accepting that there is a causal ignorance in deep sleep is illogical. It is against logic. Accepting a causal ignorance in deep sleep is against logic. How? Sushuptavapi tat sattve. If the causal ignorance were present in deep sleep, natmanaha karya karana anyatara rupena avichinna sattalabha prasangat atman prasangat atmano satyanritayo mithuni karaname vadhyasa iti siddhantaha kadartita syat. So Shankaracharya stand in the last adhyasa portions, in the adhyasa bhashya, adhyaso avidya. He told Satyanrita Mithunikaranam, mutually exchanging the identity of Satyam, Asatyam, Satyam and Mithya. And that is Adhyasa, that is Avidya, where Shankaracharya clearly stated, your explanation amounts to ignoring or dismissing Shankara's statement. Shankara's explanation of Adhyasa is getting ignored in your interpretation. You are suddenly bringing something else which is never touched by Shankaracharya. Pratikshuptascha ayam karana vidyavadaha. This causal ignorance, view of causal ignorance has been already refuted. Sorry, illalla. Vistarena Shankara Hrudaya Aparanamake Mula Vidya Nirasa Nibande Ityuparamyate. Now I am not going to discuss elaborately the refutation of causal ignorance, because the refutation of causal ignorance, Swamiji says, I have discussed elaborately in another text called Mula Vidya Nirasaha. Mula Vidya is causal ignorance, Nirasaha refutation. I have already discussed elaborately in the entire book. So I don't discuss again here. It will be repetition here. So those who want can refer there. Pratikshuptascha ayam karana vidyavadaha. This view of causal ignorance was refuted vistarena, in detail, elaborately in Mula Vidya Nirasa Grantha. You can listen to that or study that. Ityuparam, I think people can't study. You need a guru's teaching because it's highly complicated. Tasmat avidya karyatvat adhyaso avidya iti na samyak. Therefore, is a final conclusion. Therefore, what you told Purvapakshi, adhyasa is called avidya because it is a product of avidya. No, this explanation cannot be accepted. There is no causal avidya. Adhyasa itself is avidya. And it is naisargika, it has no effect and it has no cause. Adhyasa itself is a cause and there is no cause for adhyasa. Adhyasa itself is a starting point. Okay, tatraiva matantaram. Now first Purvapaksha is refuted. There is a second Purvapaksha of Bhamati. This first Purvapaksha was of Panchapadika. Now the second is of Bhamati Purvapaksha. Our time is up. We will discuss in the next class. Okay. This is, in a way, we have already discussed, so nothing new. But for some people, it becomes clear. Therefore, we have discussed again. Swamiji has discussed again. Otherwise, in the first one alone, this would have been enough. Okay. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om Tat Sat.